Very good morning to our RANsquawk listeners. Welcome to the European rundown for today, Wednesday, the 10th of November. We've just gone through 10 o'clock now here in London to check round the markets. In terms of the Asian session, did see some good gains in the Japanese Nikkei, which finished up around 1.4%. That came on the back of better consumer confidence data, but also as well some attention to an FT article, which suggested in terms of the forthcoming regulatory changes that will take place globally, any banking stocks which are predominantly have their operations based domestically will not be affected as much. So they're looking at a two-tier system, and that means that a lot of those Asian banks, particularly Japan, who are very much domestically driven in terms of their revenues and income, will not be affected as much. So financials were good performers in Japan. Elsewhere, we did see, though, in regard to China, a lower close on the Shanghai comp. That came after the PBOC raised the reserve requirement ratio by 50 basis points on 6 of the biggest lenders there, and that did weigh on their stocks. In terms of the European Open, though, quite a few corporate earnings. Although Allianz did beat expectations on the nets and had a decent outlook, it wasn't quite as strong as some investors were hoping, and their shares are seen slightly lower. But bucking the trend, E.ON are seen up around €1 at the moment after good corporate earnings. Nevertheless, though, in terms of equity markets, we trade down around 0.5% or so across the core and peripheral stock indices. Much of the other attention still remains on the sovereign concerns regarding the Eurozone. Both the Irish and Portuguese spreads have widened once again this morning, the Irish on a record level. And in terms of Portugal, a bit of widening in the spread there over bunds ahead of their final auction of this year as they look to complete their 2010 finance programme. They'll be looking to auction off around €1.2 billion shortly in a 5 and 10 year bond auction. Looking forward then, eyes towards the quarterly inflation report from the Bank of England. Most are expecting upgrades in regard to the inflation in a 2-year horizon, as well as growth prospects given the strength in that advanced Q3 GDP reading around 2 weeks ago now. And then given the holiday in the US on Thursday, we'll have some data. The weekly jobless will be due this afternoon. We'll also have the DOE all-inventory numbers. That concludes the European wrap-up. We'll have another update to come at the European cash equity close. For the time being, I wish you all a great trading day.